Hey, welcome to the official warm-up video for Team No Bullshit. This video is meant to talk you through the primary warm-up exercises we use to get you mobile enough through the upper body and the lower body and get you ready for your actual workout. If you require special attention, you'll find another video detailing that in your Facebook group. So we've got 6 exercises to start with. The first one is called a quadruped rotation. Quadruped simply means on all 4. So you're going to set up here with your knees just below your hips and your arms nearly just below your shoulders. You're going to grab the back of your head with one arm and make sure that your hips are sitting fairly far back towards your heels. Once you start the movement, we're going to start in the bottom here. So the first movement is to rotate and push your elbow through the space on the other side so you get a good stretch through your back. When you do this, your hips are going to have to stay still. So when I come down this way, my hips, they shouldn't shift out towards where the cursor is. And then as I go through the movement, I'm going to rotate my elbow up this way. So you're going to see in the top, I'm looking up towards my elbow. My hips are still in the same position, and while you're in this position here, you're going to breathe in through your nose, into your chest, then you're going to exhale and rotate a bit further, and then you're going to come down and repeat the movement. So there's 1 repetition, this here is 2 repetitions, and so on. And you do that for the amount of repetitions given in your actual training program before you swap sides. The next movement is a dynamic stretch for the tense shoulders. This here is an actual tutorial in and on itself. But what we're going to do here, we have Austin, and we're going to set Austin up against the wall just like this. So you'll see the elbow is aligned with the shoulders. Both of the elbows are on the actual wall itself. And in this position here, Austin is gently pushing his elbows into the wall and rounds his upper back ever so slightly. Wherever your head sits, as long as it's comfortable, is totally up to you. From this position here, you're going to breathe into your lower back and your belly through your nose. So you're going to take a big deep breath in, and then once we're set up here, you're going to see now very soon how Austin is going to reach up. So here I'm just talking you through the actual setup. Then when we come to the right point and he's ready, he's set up, now he's going to breathe out and he's going to slide one arm up against the wall. And you can see when he slides up, the elbow is still touching the wall, and so is the top of his forearm. The main part here is that this shoulder here is not falling in towards the wall. It kind of stays in the same position. Then he's going to breathe in and bring it back. So here, he's been breathing into his lower back, then he's going to exhale and reach up. And then from there, he's going to breathe in and bring it back down. And he's bringing the elbow back down by gently squeezing his armpit. So in your program, it'll say X amount of repetitions per side. Coming up, coming down is 1 repetition. Do the required amount of repetitions per arm. The next one is again an upper back stretch, where this is an actual tutorial. So what you're going to need is a foam roller or a yoga block and a bench to sort of set up a bit on an incline. So from here, you're going to set up pretty high up on the bench. You're going to squeeze the bench with your knees, making sure you're sitting nice and tall with the top of your head touching the ceiling and with a straight back. From here, you're going to start in this position here, clamping the foam roller or the yoga block together. The next part here is to rotate to one side. So when you're rotating to the side, I'm looking at the foam roller all the time, and I'm not losing my position here. My knees are still staying really nice and tight. And I'm going to rotate as far as I can without losing this. Then I'm slowly going to come back to the middle. Then I'm going to repeat towards the other side. If this side or the other side feels tighter than the other, that's completely normal. So all you have to be aware of here is keeping your knees nice and tight on the bench all the time and rotating as far as you can by looking at the foam roller all the time. The next exercise is again to help you with your shoulders. Shoulders tend to be a very common area where we see a lot of trouble in our clients. So here again, what you're going to need is just a flat wall, and you're going to sit down on the floor, and we're going to start in this position here. So to talk you through the position, I'm arching my lower back. My legs are completely straight with my toes pointed toward me. From here, my elbows are in line with my shoulders looking side on, and I'm gently squeezing my thumb in each hand, obviously. From here, I'm going to lead the movement by slowly rotating the back of my palm up above my head, using my elbow as a pivot point. So in this position here, I'm pushing my elbows in. This here becomes where the rotation happens. Then I'm just going to lead with the back of my palms coming up. Always making sure that you're pinching your shoulder blades together, and imagine putting your shoulder blades in your back pocket. Keep your low back nice and arched, and keep your legs as straight as possible, which is going to help you get a good hamstring stretch as well. So those are the 4 exercises for your upper body. Then we're going to go into what we call a squat to stand. Looks like a very strange position right here, but what you're going to do, you're going to set up with your feet just about shoulder width apart. You might want to put them a bit closer together or a bit wider. That's totally up to you to figure out. But the point here is that you're going to grab underneath your toes, kind of stand on your fingers, and then this here is going to be the bottom position where you're pushing your hips down, your chest is pointed up all the time, your shoulder blades are together, and your arms are completely straight. You see how the knees are on the outside of the elbows? This is the bottom position. So you're going to feel a good stretch in your hips and your upper back. Then you're going to keep your arms straight. And as you're going to see very soon, I'm going to tilt my hips up towards the sky, stretching out my knees. It's totally fine if your lower back is rounding a bit. This is the top position. And then you're going to pull yourself back down again, squeezing your shoulder blades together, keeping your arms straight and pushing your knees to the outside. So if you feel like you're losing balance or something like that, just adjust your foot position and then you will figure it out on your own. The next exercise is to simply activate your glutes. They're really, really important for a lot of different things such as squatting and deadlifting and living a pain-free life. So what you'll see here first is the wrong position, and you'll see how we're correcting this after. So a lot of people glute bridge with their feet very close together, which is going to make them squeeze a bit more through the hamstrings and their low back. Now you're going to see how we're adjusting the feet. We're putting them wider apart. And then from there, this is the starting position. So create 2 big, deep footprints into the ground. Pinch your shoulder blades together. And then you're going to push the ground away from you as you're lifting your hips up by squeezing your glute muscles until there's a straight line in the top, just like that, in between your knees, hips, and shoulders. And slowly lower yourself back down again. And then you bridge up, squeezing your bum as hard as you can, creating 2 big deep footprints into the ground, keeping your shoulders nice and tight, and then repeat for the amount of repetitions given in your training program. That's your warm-up. Once you're done with this, you move on to the actual training program and do the warm-ups for each exercise, in the sense that if you're going to squat 100 kilo, you start with an empty barbell, then you do 40, 60, 80, and then you come to 100 kilo and you do the sets prescribed in your program. All the best. It's a privilege to have you on board Team No Bullshit, and I wish you all the best.